friends, to this video on LUTS and LOOKS. If you remember back in Project 1, we did color correction, using the Lumetri color panel to correct any of the improper colorings that we had in our clip. Today, we're going to look at LUTS and LOOKS. Two ways to say the same thing. Premiere Pro calls them looks, other places call them LUTS. It's a filter. Think Instagram, think matrix green. It's an adjustment that we can have to every one of our clips to provide a particular feel. The orange and teal look, think Miami Vice. Instagram filters, red filters, those are looks, and we're going to see how to apply those in Premiere Pro. With that, friends, let's get started.
LUTs and looks are ways to get a particular look or feel to your film. A lot of times people will equate a LUT to an Instagram filter. Essentially what we are doing is putting a layer on the film that says, I want the entire piece to have this feel or look to it. To access them, we're in Lumetri Color. Your Lumetri Color is not open. Remember, you can go to Windows, Lumetri Color, populates over here. If I click on the word Basic Correction, that opens up, and you can see an input LUT. A LUT stands for Lookup Table. It's the industry term for what we're doing for applying these filters. Premiere Pro uses the word look for their LUTs. Lookup table, it's just short for the lookup table. But a LUT is a lookup table. With Premiere Pro, we call them looks. Our version of Premiere Pro has a few LUTs built in. These are all camera settings. An Alexa is a camera, and if you shot it with the log C2 rec, you would apply this LUT and it changes the look of your film, and it corrects for the camera. So based on the camera you're using, these LUTs give you the best quality picture you can have for that particular camera for those settings. And if we apply one of those and change any exposure, contrast, come in and mess around with this stuff, we are changing the tone to the LUT that we have applied. And if I want to preview what it looks like, I can click this little box, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and reset that. I'm going to close Basic Correction, click on that, and open up Creative. And now we can see, look, this is where Premiere Pro applies their LUTs. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of them already loaded in for us. We can go online, we can find LUTs and looks and import them into Premiere Pro. We're going to do that in a little while, but not in this project. For now, we're just going to use the ones that Premiere Pro has built in for us. And the way that Premiere Pro works, the effects are applied top down. So Basic Correction applied first, then Creative, then Curves on down. So my recommendation for workflow is to open up Basic Correction, ignore the LUTs, change all of your settings. We've already done that. Right? You can go in and manually adjust these to where you want them to be, or you can just mash the auto button and let Premiere Pro figure out what it wants to do. I'm going to use that. Close up Basic Correction, open up Creative, and now here's where I'm going to apply my look. To do that, bring this menu down, and you can scroll through and see what I want to look at. Let's try Bleach HDR. And I apply that particular look, and you can see how my film has changed. Toggle on and off. That's on, off, on, off, on, off. Do you like it? I don't know. You can scroll through and try a different one. Let's try Gold Heat. Ooh, there we go. I like that one better. So you can go through and play around and find out what some of these look like. What's Gold Tobacco look like? And the other way you can do it is to hit this little over button, and you get a little thumbnail preview. If you want to apply that to your main clip, just click on the box and it applies. If you get enough of an idea from the thumbnail, great. But if you want to see it applied to the whole picture, just left click inside that box. Ooh. So I'll spend a lot of time over, click, over, click, over, click. So I get an idea of what it wants to be. Matrix green. Ooh, pretty green. Sometimes you're like, ooh, I like that look, but it's a little too intense. Well, just drag the intensity down. You can control how much of that look you want applied, or you can scroll all the way up to 200, double down, and make it super murky green. That changes the amount of the look. And I've applied this look to this clip. If I go to my next clip, it's not there. We already know that we can copy and paste attributes, and you could do the same thing here. But a much easier way to apply the look to your entire piece. And what I'm going to recommend we do is add an adjustment layer. And to get an adjustment layer, you need to be in your project window. Click down here, new item, adjustment layer. And the adjustment layer is going to be created with whatever dimensions you have set for your sequence. So just click OK. It comes in here, adjustment layer. I'm going to grab you, drag you down, and put you on top of my clips. And just like anything else, I can drag and pull that out. Drag and roll you in so I can control the length of my adjustment layer. And why would I do that? Well, let's say that I wanted this matrix green. I don't want to on the clip, so none. Instead, I want to apply it to my adjustment layer. And with the adjustment layer active, now I'm going to come in and say matrix green. There you go. And my intensity, I'm going to drag that down a little bit to about 50%. Nope, I want it to be exactly 50%. There we go. And now you can see it's on my adjustment layer, because if I toggle that off, so now I can do major corrections to my adjustment layer. And if I shrink that down, watch what happens as I go from the adjustment layer part to the non-adjustment layer part. See the difference between that and that? Hope you can. Last thing I want to show you is adding a vignette. Vignettes are super cool. I really like them. They give that cinematic feel. They kind of tend to draw the eye in towards the center of the screen. See that? Nope. Yeah. See how the gets really dark around the edges of the screen and kind of focus the eye in on Mr. Yost. Play around with the midpoint of it. Play around with the roundness. Make it square around. Bring that in so you can see exactly what it does. Depending on the look that you want to get with your vignette, and then you can feather it down or not. I need to reset these. 0. Okay, I reset all of those. And the vignettes, I like to add too much. 1.8, 1.7 is usually around where I go. I think it gives a nice subtle feel to the clips as a vignette.
So there you have it. We saw how to use adjustment layers to apply a particular look to our film. That's all for this episode. We'll see you in the next one.